Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Ivan Sascha Sheehan. I'm the director of the graduate programs in Negotiation and Conflict Management and Global Affairs and Human Security in the School of Public and International Affairs at the University of Baltimore. In just a few moments, I'll be participating live in a Twitter question and answer session to address your questions related to U.S.-Iran policy. I understand that I follow in a long line of distinguished academics, as well as policy and military officials, that have taken to Twitter to address matters related to Iran policy. I'm honored to join them, and I'm honored to join you for the next hour. At this very moment, Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki is at the U.S. Institute of Peace, here in Washington, D.C., preparing for a meeting tomorrow with U.S. President Barack Obama. But there is little that has been peaceful about Maliki's tenure as Prime Minister. Not only has the Iraqi leader's time in office been marked by a growing insurgency and terrorist violence, but he has also presided over repeated acts of violence directed at the Iranian opposition detained in his country. In fact, an unintended and unwelcome consequence of the U.S. decision to topple the Iraqi regime in 2003 was the subsequent empowerment of the Iranian regime right next door. U.S. support for Maliki in the form of rhetoric and weapons, tax dollars and munitions has only strengthened Baghdad's relationship with Tehran and created a range of challenging security issues that the U.S. now must address. With that in mind, Maliki's visit to the White House tomorrow will say as much about U.S.-Iran policy as it will about future relations with Baghdad. And analysts will be watching closely to see if President Obama leverages his influence over the leader that many are calling a puppet of the Iranian regime. On September 1st, more than 100 heavily armed commandos brazenly entered a refugee camp called Camp Ashraf in northeastern Iraq and killed 52 of the 100 residents living there, taking another 7 hostage. The United Nations now confirms that many of the victims of the attack were killed execution style, some while receiving medical care. Videos taken by survivors of the massacre confirm that it would have been impossible for the gunmen to enter the heavily guarded complex to carry out the attack unless Iraqi military forces guarding the compound assisted them. Senior former U.S. military officials confirm this is in fact true. So tomorrow's meeting poses a dilemma for the Obama White House. Embrace the Iraqi leader and signal the Iranian regime that the U.S. will bless the unholy alliance between Tehran and Baghdad by turning a blind eye to the slaughter of Iranian dissidents, or reject the failed strategy of appeasement and engage Tehran via Baghdad from a position of strength. The choice is an obvious one, but the administration's failure to recognize Tehran's cyclical use of threat and accommodation in the pursuit of weapons of mass destruction has ceded valuable time and weakened the U.S. negotiating posture. Tomorrow's White House summit is an occasion to reset U.S.-Iran policy through enhanced pressure on the Iraqi government. President Obama must now summon the fortitude to live up to his administration's many pledges to protect the Iranian regime's primary opposition to clerical rule. Individuals, I might add, that are all asylum seekers in Iraq and subject to protection under the Fourth Geneva Convention. Leveraging U.S. influence to ensure the safe return of the 7 individuals kidnapped by the Iraqi regime is imperative to the future success of talks with the Iranian regime. Even more importantly, it's the right thing to do in terms of honoring U.S. commitments. I hope you'll visit my website at professorsheehan.com to learn more about my writing and my scholarship on these issues. and I hope you'll connect with me on Twitter at Prof. Sheehan as well. I look forward to connecting with you online in just a few moments and continuing our discussion of the work that must be undertaken in the policy community by members of Congress and by White House officials, as well as academics, to ensure that these important matters are addressed.